Hello guys, welcome back to your final video lesson of this week. I just wanted to say at this point how proud I am of each and every one of you for putting in so much effort. I know it's challenging working from home. I empathise with you, but keep up the great work, keep pushing, keep working, keep motivated, and it will pay off. So today, we are going to be doing something slightly different, something that we've probably never done before. We're going to look at some new vocabulary. So can you write our title, our date, and our learning objective, and then I will explain to you the purpose of this lesson. So pause the video and jot that down now for me, please. Okay, so you should have that written down, and I'm going to explain to you the purpose of this lesson. So for language paper 1 so far, we've done question 1 to 4. We haven't approached question 5, which is the big 40-mark creative writing piece at the end. Next week, we are going to go through the structure. It's a 4-paragraph structure that I'm going to teach you initially, and then we'll build on that as we get better and better. But in those paragraphs, to get top marks for question 5, you need to have a variety of different things: vocabulary, sentence structures, different methods, different pieces of punctuation. So I need to teach you those things as well. So we're going to start by looking at some vocabulary, because this is a lesson that I do with all of my classes and I really enjoy it, and I think you deserve a break from looking at different questions. So before we get started with our sensory vocabulary, can you please complete the do now by copying the sentences and correcting any spelling, punctuation, and grammar errors? Okay, if you are back, that means that you are ready to do our purple pen corrections. Please make sure you're doing your purple pen corrections. Some of you are getting a little bit lazy with this. It's really important that you don't have any wrong information in your exercise book, because if you use it for revision, it will be wrong and you'll be retaining wrong information. All right, so let's have a look at these briefly. Number 1 and number 2, a comma is used to separate the subordinate clause at the beginning to the main clause at the end. Any of these pieces of punctuation can be used to isolate the word, however. Number 4 and number 5 initially used a comma to separate two independent clauses, and that is a comma splice, and that can be corrected with a semicolon, a full stop, or a conjunction. So for this example, I've used so, and for this example, I've used because. So pause the video and make any corrections that you need to now, please. Okay, so let's get into our vocabulary lesson. So what I would like you to do is copy this table. Before you do that, I just want to explain to you what this table is. So we're looking at sensory vocabulary. That is vocabulary that describes the 5 senses, which are listed here. You know what the 5 senses are. You probably did it at primary school. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by explaining what each sense is. So copy this table down and make sure you also copy the words under each example. These are examples of sensory vocabulary, and that's going to help you with the next task. Pause the video and copy this table exactly into your exercise books, please. Okay, you should now have this copied down. So what you're going to do is there's going to be a bunch of words, and you're going to copy those words into the correct section of the table. So you're going to need to look at the words and decide whether it's describing how something looks, how something smells, how something tastes, how something sounds, or how something feels. And you should add 5 words into each column. And with the example that you have written, that means you should have 6 words total in each column. Please make sure that you Google the word or write a definition of it if you are unsure. If you don't know the definition of a word, chances are you're going to put it into the wrong column. So let's have a look at the words that we have got here. Dim, velvety, piercing, aromatic, delectable, insipid, nauseating, serrated, whimpering, translucent, odorous, hissing, scrumptious, granular, iridescent, silky, cacophonous, putrid, pristine, zesty, melodic, lip-smacking, opaque, crisp, and flimsy. So you need to pause the video and sort all of these words into each column. Remember, you need to put 5 in each one, leaving a total of 6. Please pause the video and complete that task now. Okay, if you're back, that means that you have sorted these words and you are ready to make some corrections. This is so important. Like I said, if you don't make these purple pen corrections and you have the words in the wrong places, chances are you're going to use them wrong, and using them wrong in a question 5 paper will not get you any marks. So let's have a look. So for sight, we have glossy, dim, opaque, translucent, iridescent, and pristine. I'm not going to explain to you the definitions because you should have written those down if you are unsure. Sound, we have crackling, piercing, cacophonous, whimpering, hissing, and melodic. And it's important to notice here that some of these words are adjectives and some of these words are verbs, so you need to make sure you use them correctly. For touch, we have drenched, velvety, silky, granular, flimsy, serrated. For taste, we have acidic, lip-smacking, zesty, scrumptious, delectable, insipid. And for smell, we have pungent, aromatic, nauseating, odorous, crisp, and putrid. Often people confuse these two, taste and smell. Honestly, some of them for taste can be used for smell, but just make sure that yours looks exactly like this by pausing the video and making any corrections now, please. Okay, so we know the words, we know what sense they describe, but now we need to make sure that we can use them properly in a sentence. So what you're going to do is there's going to be a list of sentences with 3 red options. You are going to copy and write the correct answer to complete the sentence. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 is A, something white shirt clung to his muscular frame. Your options are granular, pristine, and dim. You need to choose the correct word out of these 3, copy the sentence, and add it in. And you need to do the same for all 8 of these examples. Okay, pause the video and do that now for me, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to make your corrections. Again, I can't express how important it is to improve these if you got it wrong. Okay, so number 1 is a pristine white shirt clung to his muscular frame. There was a dim glow from the distant window. We were rudely awoken by the cacophonous sound of various birds. Whimpering could be detected from the hidden cave. And it's important here to notice that cacophonous does describe a sound, but it's not a verb. Whimpering is a verb, so it would make better sense here. He serrated the knives. This is just testing your ability to use different verb forms. These are all verbs, but the difference in them will change the meaning of a sentence. The frail dog growled in disappointment when he tasted the insipid food. Again, zesty and delectable can be used to describe a food, but if he's growling in disappointment, the food isn't going to be zesty and it's not going to be delectable, so the answer is insipid. This one is nauseated, again, testing your ability to use different verb forms. And a figure appeared behind a translucent door. It wouldn't be opaque, because if it was, you wouldn't be able to see the figure behind the door. Okay, pause the video and get these corrections down now, please. Okay, and your final task for today's lesson is you're going to use 2 new words, so words that we didn't use in the activity before, to write 2 sentences to describe this image. Now, this is great practice because in the language paper 1 question 5, one of the options for the piece that you can write will be inspired by an image. So it's very important that we can look at an image and we can create descriptions from that image. So below I have highlighted in yellow the words that we haven't used yet in the sentences. So pause the video now, choose 2 of these highlighted words to write 2 sentences to describe this image. Okay, you should have got your 2 sentences down, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've written, because we've never done anything kind of like story or descriptive kind of writing before, so I'm actually quite interested to see how creative you guys are. At this point, you need to make sure that you are submitting your work. Please make sure you're sending it to my email. I don't know if you've done it unless I see it. So send a picture of your work, and I will see you in next week's lesson. Tomorrow's lesson will be some Frankenstein revision, and I'm not doing a video for that. So I will see you next week. Excellent work, keep it up, and I will speak to you soon.